stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Trish.
Mrs. Brew?
Here.
Mr. Kramer?
Here.
Mr. Menegini?
Here.
Mr. Marraro?
Here.
Mrs. Steigerwald? Here.
Before we approve the agenda on after public comment, closed session, that will be scratched for tonight. Other than that, everything looks okay. If I don't have any questions, do I have a motion on the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Marraro?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald? Yes. Mrs. Brew?
Yes. Approval of the minutes of the special meeting of August 14th, 2025.
I make a motion to approve the special meeting, the minutes for the special meeting of August 14th, 2025.
Support.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Marraro?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Closed session of August 14th, 2025 minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for the closed session of August 14th, 2025.
Support.
Mr. Marraro?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Regular meeting minutes of August 20th, 2025.
I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for regular meeting of August 2025.
Support.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Marraro?
Yes.
Approval of manifest 2025-17. Ricky, did you have any questions?
I just wanted to verify that it was so high because of the taxes.
Yes, about half of it is taxes, 500 and some thousand.
Thank you.
Jeff?
Nothing, Madam Mayor.
No questions.
Okay. I have one on page 4 of 7, under electric transmissions. Little more than halfway down, Mead and Hunt Incorporated for compliance. Do you know what that was for?
That's, I'll have to verify, it was probably our annual, that's who we contract with to get
I
to
know
our.
that, yeah. I know that, but I mean,
Specifically?
yes.
I don't know, I'd have
I
to
just
look
wanted to
back.
see if we went over the window or,
Yeah, I can
happened?
look at that.
that's all I have. Do I have a motion?
I will make a motion to approve manifest, where are we, 2025-17, in the amount of $908,808.92.
Support.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Marraro?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
I don't believe we had any previous manifest
Did not.
questions. Move on to public comment. Anyone in attendance wishing to address the council on any item of interest shall do so now at the podium. State your name and address for the record. Comment shall be limited to 3 minutes per person. We have none. Anyone in attendance wishing to address the council on an agenda item only shall do so now at the podium. State your name and address for the record. We'll move on to action items. Item number 1, WPPI Energy 2025 presentation. Mike Peters, welcome Mike.
Mayor, thank you. Well, it's good to come up and give you an update on WPPI, but this is really a great opportunity for me to hear from you if you have any questions. I've handed out a slide deck for you. About 15, 20 minutes to go through it at most, but really depends on what kind of questions you all have about the joint action agency that you've been a member of for a number of years. This is our 45th year in existence. I know you all have been a member for over 20 years, and we've appreciated our partnership with our UP members. and believe that, we're in a great position to be able to help you with your technology needs, your building systems, power supply, et cetera. There's a copy of our mission and vision statement, and one of the things that we talk about in our office is the fact that you are the utility. We are here to support you. We're more or less your back room with the systems that we provide, supplement your power. You are one of the unique members of WPPI with your hydro facilities. You're in a really great position as far as your power supply, and then buying what you need from us when you don't have enough generation from those hydros. But when you look at our mission and vision statement in both cases, members are first and foremost in both of those. And we definitely want to make sure that our staff is well aware of that, and then we communicate that in everything that we do with our membership. 2025 has been a pretty busy year. Seems like every year is a busy year. This one in particular, we've been focusing on three areas in particular. One's in power supply planning. I'll talk a little bit more about that a couple slides later. Transmission investments. I know that you all have probably seen some of the additional transmission up in the UP. The American Transmission Company is going to have a significant build out over the next 10 years, and I'll talk a little bit about that. And then just maintaining relationships with the membership by coming out, meeting with you, having roundtables. I know Scott Hagee's been a fantastic resource for all of our UP members, not just Norway, but he seems to be one that our members in the UP look to for leadership, so we really appreciate Scott's involvement in the UP. Into 2026, next year, we're going to be working on our next 5-year business plan, and part of that process, we go out, we have a number of meetings, regional meetings with our member utility managers and board members, hear from you all what's important to your communities, what role you see us playing in supporting your communities from a power supply and services standpoint. So look for that to come out next year. I know Scott will participate and provide a lot of good information for us. Flipping over to just some statistics on WPPI. Some of you know us pretty well. Others, you may not know us as well, but we are what's called a joint action agency. We were created in 1980 to provide initially power supply for 23 Wisconsin municipals. We eventually grew to what we are today with 51 member utilities. We have 7 members in the UP and Michigan, 41 in Wisconsin, and 3 in the state of Iowa. Our annual budget's about $500 million. We have total assets of right around $750 million. No one individual member of WPPI is more than 10% of our total load, so we have a pretty good diverse membership. And our size, we're a decent sized utility that allows us to own large generators, enter into large contracts, which all of our members then get the benefit of the economies of scale that WPPI can bring to the table, but not only in power supply, but also in services as well. All of our members have a seat on our board of directors. We have a 51-member board. As I said, Scott's really involved with our organization, both with the distribution services group as well as our board and other advisory groups. One of the things that we've been working on for the last probably 15 years is trying to maintain stable power supply cost. There's a line graph in your packet there that shows our average cost going back to 2012. You can see other than that uptick in 2022, our rates have been really stable and very competitive from a wholesale standpoint. In 2022, natural gas prices doubled from what we originally anticipated. Even though natural gas prices set what the market energy price will be for wholesale electricity, and that price doubled from what we had anticipated. Our average cost to our members only went up 10%, mainly because the way we manage our power supply portfolio. We are relatively well hedged, which means we have resources as well as contracts that prevent huge price spikes. We did see an increase, as I said, of about 10%, but we would have been faced with a much higher increase, as much as 100%, had we not been as hedged as we were. You can then see it came back down in 2024, and our average cost for 25 is pretty close to what we had in 2024. So our members really value stable power supply costs as much as anything else. I know your business customers, residential customers, city. One of the things you like to know going forward is what's our power bills going to look like next year, the year after. It allows you all to budget much more effectively, allows your business customers to budget much more effectively. So low cost is very important, but stability is really important as well. And that's something we've been focused on for a number of years. The way we get stability is having a very diverse portfolio. Think about it as a retirement fund, as you would your retirement fund. You don't put all your investment in one stock. You have a diverse portfolio. So when we look at planning our power supply portfolio, we do the same thing. We have a very diverse portfolio. No one individual resource is more than 10% of our capacity requirements. And so we have a lot of diversity in not only the type of generator from natural gas, nuclear, coal, wind, solar, but also the location. We have resources, as you can see, in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, and Iowa. So that diversity means that if gas prices skyrocket, which they did in 2022, that's offset by more stable costs that we have for our nuclear contracts or our coal contracts. Renewable energy, very cost-effective resource right now, so when it's generating, we're able to rely on that as opposed to another resource which might be more expensive. So we get a lot of diversity in our portfolio through various contracts and resources. One of the things that we're working on, as I said, in 25 is resource planning. We have, we're about 1,000 megawatts of load. If you think about a typical customer might be, a high school might be 50 kW, so maybe 10% of a megawatt. And so we have about 400 megawatts of resources that will be rolling off between now and 2033. So about 40% of our entire portfolio we're going to have to replace between now and 2033. And we're doing the planning right now to do that, because if we decided to build a new resource today and started that process, it could take anywhere from 5 to 7 years. It just takes time, not only from ordering your equipment, but getting permits, citing a resource, etc. And so we're doing the planning right now and looking at multiple options. We're looking at potentially partnering with other utilities. That's something we've been very successful at doing. Just like you all get economies of scale when you partner with us, we can get economies of scale partnering with other utilities and building a bigger resource that we would all then share. And so we're looking at that as an opportunity as well. We're also exploring potential contracts for additional new resources that are being developed. And so we're reporting to our board in September about the current status of some of those projects as well as some of those contracts. So stay tuned for more with respect to our power supply portfolio. The other area that we spent a lot of time this year in is transmission. The American Transmission Company has been around for about 24 years. WPPI has been an owner from day one. We've had a seat on the board of directors for ATC since day one, and that's allowed us to really work closely with ATC to address a number of our member communities' issues, from building new substations to getting new interconnections for members. It's been a very effective partnership. ATC started out with about a $500 million asset base. Today, over that 24 years, they've grown to about $8 billion. Over the next 10 years, they're going to more than double that. So they are going to add about $8 to $10 billion in new transmission over the next 10 years. That is a huge build out of the transmission system. The challenge for us is the way they fund that build out is they do it through debt, and they also do it through voluntary capital calls, which is they ask the owners to contribute capital equal to their percentage of ownership in ATC. For us, we've been able to meet our capital calls every year through just our typical rates. We've been able to set aside margin each year and then meet the next year's capital calls without having to artificially increase rates just to do that. This is the last year we're going to be able to do that with just our rates. Our typical capital calls have been anywhere from 5 to 7 million a year. Our margin each year is about 12 to 13 million, so we've been able to meet those capital calls. For this year, our capital calls have been 15 million. And we planned for that by using last year's margin plus this year's margin to meet 2025 capital calls. Next year's capital call for ATC is $26 million. We can't meet that just through our rates. Well, we could, but that would be a pretty hefty rate increase that we'd have to collect from the members. So we're looking at a couple of options. One is, debt. We can issue debt and borrow money to meet those capital calls. We're looking at doing some short-term potential borrowing, and then after a couple of years of those high capital calls, rolling that into a longer-term debt issuance. So that's one option. The other is you don't have to meet the capital calls. They're voluntary. If you didn't meet one of the capital calls, your percentage ownership would shrink accordingly, and then ATC would collect that uncollected capital call from all the other owners of ATC, and you'd see the slight shrinkage. So we've done some planning on what that would look like if we didn't meet all the capital calls. We've always met all of them. Owning transmission makes a lot of sense for us because we're able to offset our wholesale rates through the revenue we get from our investment in ATC. We get about 12 to 13 million a year in return on an investment, and that goes directly back to our members, you all, in rate reduction. So we're able to reduce our wholesale rate by our ownership of ATC. If we own less, we get less of a return. We're not as effective in reducing our wholesale rate. So it's a balance between meeting those capital calls, how much debt would it take to do that, what would be the debt service cost to our members, and how would that affect rates. So we had a long meeting with our executive committee last week, went through a number of scenarios. We're going to report to the board in December what our plan is for next year and then probably the next 3 to 5 years. So transmission is going to be a big issue for a number of years. Transmission is about 17% of our average wholesale power cost is transmission. So about 10 years ago, it was about 13%. So it has gone up a little bit, not significantly, but I think over the next 10 years, we're going to see that change a little bit. Any questions on power supply or transmission?
Are we putting in new transmission, or are we replacing what we already have?
There's a couple things. Part of that is, yes, replacing old transmission. When ATC was stood up, all the transmission owners in their current footprint donated their existing transmission to ATC. So some of that transmission today is 50, 60, even 70 years old, and it needs to be replaced. And so that's part of the upgrade cost. The other is brand new transmission. There's 2 very large lines that are being planned to go through Wisconsin, and part of them would come up towards the UP. Those lines are several $1 billion between the two. The service to Microsoft, I don't know if you've heard about data centers being built in Wisconsin, but to serve Microsoft, ATC is investing almost $1 billion in new transmission to serve the Microsoft campus. Now, when Microsoft is online, they're going to be such a load that they'll absorb all that new cost, but we're going to have to build it first, and then when they're online, they'll be absorbing that. So it should be rate neutral or revenue neutral to us eventually, but there is investment to get it up online. So it's a pretty good split between rebuilding existing infrastructure and then building brand new infrastructure.
Very challenging time, isn't it, for the folks out there?
Oh, absolutely.
Microsoft's just one. They're all doing it. Google,
Yeah.
Amazon, everybody's playing the game now. So
It is a race to see who can dominate that sector, and they are all spending literally billions of dollars.
Yeah. I've been keeping track of the projects all across the country, and it's astronomical the money that's being spent.
It's hard for us to get our hands around it. We've had a number of data centers approach some of our member communities, and when you look at a community is a 30 megawatt load for the entire city of maybe 10,000 people. One data center could be 300 megawatts.
Wow.
It would be 10 times larger than the city. And that's a significant challenge for not only the city, but for us as well.
The one in Louisiana, I can't remember what's going to cost, but it's unbelievable. And they actually contracted with the power company to build a brand new
Yes. Yep.
generation plant just for the data center.
That's happening in Webco's area right now.
Yeah.
They've got about 6,000 megawatts of data center load that they're building resources for. It gives us an opportunity because Webco's invited us to partner with them on some of those resources, which is good for us. But also, we've seen average power cost in this part of the country go up because there's used to be excess capacity. There is no more excess capacity. It's being sucked up very quickly. And so they're building as fast as they can in order to serve these data centers. We haven't had any land in our member communities yet, but we've had several that have approached them. It's going to happen at some point. Our challenge will be, when you have a 300 megawatt load that's, 10 times the size of the city, the big challenge or fear is if they, there's this race to dominate that sector. And so if you have a data center that gets built and we provide service to them, the city builds a $50 million substation, and then 5 years later, they're out of business because they didn't succeed and somebody else, swallowed them up or shut them down. That's a big hole to fill. For the city to pay for that infrastructure, for us to pay for that power supply that we entered into. So we're looking at options on how we can serve a data center without risking all the other members. And the way Webco is approaching it is a data center, 1,000 megawatt data center, they have to contract basically to take responsibility for that new power supply resource. So they have to guarantee it and put up either letters of credit or their own credit. Microsoft can put up their own credit, and Webco will build the generation unit and serve the data center. We're looking at something that might be similar to that, and so we've been exploring possibilities, but it's just staggering how much is happening.
Will we be able to keep up with that?
What's that?
Will we be able to keep up with that?
We will. It's not going to be easy, but we'll keep up with it.
Learn the word brownouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna get to,
Yeah, we'll be able to do it, but it's not going to be easy. Right now, if we said go, if you ordered a generator right now, a gas-fired turbine, it can take 3 years to get it, and so we're looking for options there as well. How can we get something quicker? We're looking at batteries. Batteries, you can get batteries online. Large utility scale batteries in 1.5 years. And so we've been talking to some developers about doing some battery projects that would, support new load.
How long to refurbish bring a decommissioned nuke plant back up online?
Kewanee is not going to get recommissioned.
Yeah.
It's been offline too long. Duane Arnold in Iowa is going to come back online. Palisades in
Is coming
Michigan,
on, yep.
that's coming back online. Those are the two around this part of the
Right.
country. Webco has signed a contract for a development of a small modular reactor to go on the Kewanee site. It's a great location.
Yeah.
They're not going to build anything else there, but they can put a small modular reactor, which is a new form of nuclear. And the transmission is there, the security can be there, so that's a good location. And once that gets up and running, we'll look at it as a possibility. We don't want to be first on that kind of technology. We like to be a little bit further down in the risk profile. When you're the first ones to build that new technology, you're taking a ton of risk. About 3 years ago, we signed an agreement with a company called NewScale, which was ahead of the curve on building new nuclear. And a number of utilities in the Midwest, all the IOUs in Wisconsin, all of ourselves and into Minnesota looked at that technology. We signed an NDA to look at it. I can tell you what the salesman was telling us, and by the time we got the actual data, it didn't take us long to decide that wasn't a good plan for us. It was significantly more expensive than anything else we could potentially look at. And so we backed away from that at that time. And NewScale has signed an agreement to build some of their reactors with data centers being the backing. Every one of the Alphabet data center, Microsoft, Meta, Google, they all are on building out some form of new nuclear generation. Every one of them are working with a developer to build that. So we're anxious to see it happen. We don't think we would look at that as a resource until 2040. We think we can do things with natural gas, batteries, and renewables to get us out to 2040. And then beyond that, then that could be a very good resource. But right now, it's not something we would pursue.
Thanks.
Yep.
The 40% rolling off in the 10 years, is that they're just such old power plants?
Couple things. So we have about four of our renewable contracts, wind contracts that start rolling off in 27, 28, 29, and into 30. The biggest piece is the Point Beach nuclear contract that rolls off. Half of that rolls off in 2030, and then the other half in 2033. That's the biggest piece out of that. And then we have another contract with WPS that rolls off in 2029. And so we have a number of those contracts that would just roll off. Our resources, the coal resources that we own Elm Road Generating Station that WEPCO is the primary owner. We own an 8 1/3% of that. It's about 116 megawatts of generation for us. It's a great energy resource. They're converting that to natural gas. That's going to happen between now and 2028. They're working to convert that to natural gas. It will run differently as a natural gas plant than it does as a coal plant. It'll also be more volatile. Coal is a much more stable fuel cost standpoint. You contract for 3 years of coal deliveries at a set price with maybe a 2% escalation. It's pretty stable. Natural gas, as you can see on that one chart, you could go into a year expecting the price to be something, and it could be twice that. You get a hurricane in the Gulf, and it takes out some of the refinery down there. You can see gas prices skyrocket.
So an administration change in Washington.
You can see an administrative
Yep.
change in Washington, and prices can go down, prices can go up. So gas is manageable, but it's not cheap to manage it because you have to pay a premium to hedge it.
Yep.
And so gas is a little more volatile from a cost standpoint.
Why are they going to gas instead of coal?
Well, that's a really good question. A few years ago, it was because the administration that was in office was
Right.
basically had legislation or
The
regulation that was pushing that direction. Since then, that's been overturned.
Right.
They don't have to do it, but they made a decision a few years ago to go that direction, and there's no stopping them at this point. It's for them. They operate that plant and are making plans for that plant probably different than we would. If we own that plant, we would run it, and we continue to run it. They're making decisions based on investment opportunity, and so they can put dollars into the plant. They earn a return on that investment. It's good for their shareholders, and so I think that's what's motivating part of that.
So I'm kind of new to
Oh, yeah.
this whole concept. So you're developing contracts for so many years to get a certain amount of power from these different facilities, is that correct?
We're either looking at ownership opportunities, which we have several that we're looking at. We're also looking at contracts, and our contract terms, we have probably 15 or 20 contracts today. They can be very short term. They could be 3 months, or they could be 25 years. And so we have a lot of different contracts. We try to layer in contracts as well. We don't like to have a big cliff in our resource needs. The Point Beach contract is just a size that it's a big resource. And so when that drops off, it creates a pretty sizable hole for us to fill. But we're planning for it, so it's not like a surprise. We'll have contracts where we just get, just energy or just capacity. And they could be, as I said, we have some contracts that are just for the summer months. We have some contracts that are 3 years, 5 years, some going out, 20 plus years. So just depends on the resource, depends on what our need is, depends on just a number of factors. So, yep. We have a pretty experienced staff, and that's their day in and day out job is to manage our power supply resource, but also do the planning for power supply need. So, yep.
Thank you.
Hit that one. The last area, I think I actually hit on the services side, we continue to enhance our technology offerings. I know you use our billing systems. And that's something we continue to put training into and making sure we're staying up with the software upgrades that are needed. It's a bit of a challenge. We have 20 staff that's dedicated to that system. Again, you think about the economies of scale. You have access to a billing system that is, as good as any industrial and utility. You don't have to own it. You get it through WPPI, and our staff maintains that and works with your staff to make sure your bills go out on time and accurately. We talked about data centers. We're continuing to have discussions. Eventually, something's going to hit. And then one of the areas where we've added some additional services is in GIS. The geographical information systems, mapping systems. A number of our members have wanted to enhance their electronic mapping, and so we've added that as an additional service. And I know we've talked to Scott, and where might be some areas that we could help Norway as well. I think I've hit everything. Be happy to answer any more questions. I appreciate the questions.
I'm good, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything. I always enjoy listening to you because you have so much good, information. You keep us up to date on all of that. And I know every year I come back from Washington,
Yep.
and I thank you guys, but I want to thank you again. How great it is for us to go out there and represent our town and
Absolutely.
talk to our senators and, the people out there,
I would tell you that the most effective lobbyists are mayors.
Thank you.
They really are. I know when we make appointments, they ask who's coming with us because I'm a hired hand. And when we tell them, Mayor Brew from Norway, that helps. That gets us in the door. It does this with all of our member communities. If we can get a mayor to come with us, we're so much more effective as a group. They represent the same people you represent, and they want to know what's going on, locally. So appreciate when you're willing to go and others like you are willing to go. That really helps.
Yeah,
us
we've
be
had
much more effective.
we've had a few members go, and I went quite a few times with Ray, and
Yeah.
he showed me the ropes, and I kind of know the ropes myself now because you've had us, and Joseph is wonderful too,
Yeah,
and we're out there
appreciate
getting
that.
everything. So thank you for that, and thank you for all the good information. Sometimes not good, but information.
It is good.
Thank you.
We do have our annual meeting coming up September 17th. We'll be at Lambeau Field this year. It's our 45th anniversary.
seen
so
that.
We're going to have a celebration there. If you need any information on that, just reach out.
All right, and congratulations on your 45 years.
Yeah, hopefully
It's
there's
awesome.
another 45 ahead. So.
And thank you
all.
for taking time to come up here and
Oh,
speak
absolutely.
with us in person. It's nice to put a face.
Always willing to make the drive. It's not too bad. So I don't know if I want to do it in January, February.
No.
Today's one of those days that reminds you that it's coming.
That it's coming, right.
It's coming. So thanks,
So,
everybody.
thanks,
Take care.
Mike.
Thank you, sir.
Find my agenda again.
I can send you some information on that meeting if you're interested in going.
Yeah, I think I got some too. All right, item number 2, Water Department Hydro Corp Cross Connection Inspection Proposal. Did anybody else have any questions on that?
As long as he took care of my concerns that I had last time, I'm good.
Is everybody else
Well,
good?
I'm not good, but
Do we have any questions that we need to talk to Hydro Corp?
We have their attorney and Alex, who's been on before with us, available if you have any questions.
No questions? Grant? Nothing for you?
nope. All right.
Okay, then I guess if no questions, do I have a motion?
Nice motion, this one. 2?
I'll make a motion to approve a 3-year commercial cross-connection agreement with a total not to exceed $34,162.79 over the life of the agreement, as well as a 5-year residential cross-connection inspection agreement with amount not to exceed $97,521.59 over the life of the agreement with Hydro Corp. LLC.
I support.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Mararo?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes. And would you tell HydroCorp we're glad they were on? the phone?
I will,
We've had this on the last 3 agendas, so it's nice now we
I
got this.
emailed them once at this meeting to let them know that we were in the middle of an item. I will quickly send them an email just so I know they're kind of waiting there.
Okay, item number 3, consent to appoint city treasurer.
So,
Go ahead.
no, all right, I'm just gonna. So we were in search of a city treasurer. We had our hiring committee as we've had in the past, which consisted of myself, the mayor, Councilmember Steigerwald, and our former treasurer, Mary. We had several qualified candidates this time around, enough where we invited 3 of those to a second round finalist interview. And the consensus of the committee was to hire Christy Miles for city treasurer. Christy has been the township treasurer of Dalton Township since 2022, and prior to that, she was the deputy treasurer and administrative assistant of Dalton Township from 23 to 2012, and took on a different role between those 2 jobs as a paraprofessional. She's received the MMTA certificate, which is the accredited state certification for treasurer, certified municipal treasurer. We just felt she had the best overall skills for what we were looking for. She has knowledge of all of our softwares and procedures, and all of the stuff that is required. So we did submit a conditional offer to Ms. Miles, which she has accepted. Per the charter, the City of Norway Charter, council needs to consent to the manager's hire. Therefore, at this meeting, we are seeking the council's consent to approve our appointment.
A motion, we give, city council gives consent to the hiring of Christy Miles as city treasurer.
Support?
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Mararo?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
We'll move on to item number 4, Curry Road water main replacement.
So this is, we've discussed this a couple of times. We had a water main break on Curry Road. That water main ran through some private property in a wetland area under a grouping of trees. At that time, I made the decision that is not the best place for that water main to go. In order to repair it, that would have required extensive disruption of that area, and it is a wetland, which would require additional permitting. Therefore, we abandoned that line and ran a temporary line to the houses in that area while we began the process to engineer a new water main that followed Curry Road. We used Coleman Engineering for this project, and we came away with a bid that had 2 components to it, a main project and an alternate project. The main project is what I had just described, is replacing the necessary water main and running lateral lines to those 2 houses. The alternate project, if you look at the first picture, the blue line, that's the current water main that we've abandoned. The second blue line is the continuation of that water main that you can see heads north through 2 private properties under driveways and very close to houses, and it also has a southern dead end 90 water main. So the alternate redirects that main and continues to follow the Curry Road and connect to that dead end main, so we avoid any disruption under these houses. If there was a water main break under these private properties, that could be a serious problem for those homes. So that is the second alternate for this project. We had 2 bidders, and I did get it late from Coleman, but it is a supplement to your packet. They have their engineering recommendation of the 2 bids.
Are both bids here?
Yes, so on the back page, they have, it's small, but that spreadsheet here is base bid and alternate bid, and these are the 2 bids.
Okay.
So, yeah. So we had, the low bid was Payne and Dolan for the base project at $494,141.
How am I gonna read that?
It's a little, it came out a little small.
What's the, what was the other bid?
So it was, it's this here, the base bid, it's this, how can I say it, Rossstall Construction out of Ironwood. Their base bid project was $538,925 to Payne and Dolan's $494,141. And the alternate bid, which includes the base bid, for Payne and Dolan was $795,129.50, and the other bidder was $885,185.
Nice.
$100,000 difference.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, it was higher than our estimates, but that was sort of expected. We were uncertain what this would come out to at this time of year. You know, the main project has to get done before the freeze starts, so they're looking at starting in September, third week of September, to get the base one done. If we decide to do the entire project, that likely would not occur until the spring.
And we gotta get that done. Cool weather's already
Yeah,
here.
so they're slated, so third week of this month to start. You know, we allocated 200,000 in the water budget, not knowing what this would be. And we also are going for a bond for 600,000 that is still in its 45-day referendum period. We've received nothing for that at this point. You know, speaking to our bond counsel, fairly confident that at this point.
What do you mean received nothing?
So during the 45-day referendum period, we published that in the paper,
Yeah.
and anyone can start to try to get, if they get 10% of the registered voters in the city, can force it to a referendum.
Okay, correct. All right. Yeah, I guess I didn't know
yeah,
that
sorry.
process.
But we have a backup plan if that happens.
Yep, I see
Yeah.
that.
The worst case scenario, especially in the base amount, you know, we have 200,000 allocated, we could borrow the rest from the electric department and pay it back. The larger project, I get a little more uneasy borrowing that much from electric.
There's other ways to borrow.
But there's other ways to borrow, and I am fairly confident that, you know, at this point, with the bond likely will not go a referendum.
It's legit, I mean,
Yeah.
it has to be replaced, it has to be fixed.
Yeah, the base one has to be done. This alternate, I do recommend it. I know it's a lot, but if you look at where that water main goes, and then you have a dead end, you know, a dead end water main can produce stagnant water, which can produce bacteria. It's also can be more prone to freezing. That's why you always want a continuous loop system, because the water is continuing to flow through, and this would solve that stagnant dead end. And it also eliminates where the current main is running under two private properties, under driveways next to homes. That would be
It solves it for additional 300,000.
right.
Low price?
Yeah. Hopefully saving us down the road from a water main that could.
Let's just get it underground before the frost hits.
Yeah, that's what
So
I'm worried about.
the big decision, for tonight is, does council want to pursue just the main project, or are we looking at the alternate? Again, my recommendation is with the bond in front of us, with what we allocated, we put up enough into this to cover the entirety of that project.
Well, surely we gotta do the main.
Yes.
main one.
Yeah.
And they're probably not gonna get to that other project right away anyway, are they?
No, that will happen in the spring. If, we could, I suppose, and I haven't run this by Coleman Engineering of how this would work, but obviously there's not a mobilization extra here because they're gonna have to remobilize to do the second half anyways. I suppose we could consider bidding that out, the second half out come spring. I don't think it's gonna be much cheaper.
Probably not, plus you probably would like the same company working on it.
You do run that.
The project.
Yeah.
No, the other side of it is, do we want to spend the extra $300,000 to go with the full loop? I mean, I think that's the main question first. If we're all yeah on that, then you might as well give them, accept both bids.
Yeah.
And be done with it, like you said, continuity with the contractor. $300,000 is a lot of money,
Yeah. I'm not.
There's not a lot of customers down there.
No.
Is this the only dead-end loop that we know about, or we're not sure?
I don't think, I think there are a couple others, you know, and I'm not aware at this time of this particular dead end loop causing any stagnant water or freezing. It's just I know those dead ends are often prone to doing that. I don't know if we've had any issues under this, where the current main is. I'm guessing
I don't
that when
think
this
we
main
did.
ran through, these
I've never heard-
homes
I've
didn't
never heard-
exist.
In my
As of
15,
now.
9
So
years here.
it's likely old. And if there was a, you know.
We can always do it later.
If this
You
one
know what I
broke,
mean?
we would likely do what we're doing now, we would be rerouting it. But it is not imperative to the
Right.
problem at hand. It's the correct way to finish it, but that, as Jeff said, that can, it could be a separate project down the road. And with, again, having to remobilize, I don't think you're gonna save on mobilization in this case because you're already gonna have to remobilize.
And it's not gonna be additional charge either, because they're gonna have to come back anyways, so. So how do we motion this?
Just real quick, has that part of the water main been surveyed for lead abatement for that other project that we've got going?
Yeah, there was some done down there, because I see Marcus down there,
Yeah.
For what project?
the lead.
Oh,
Remember the drops off the main?
yeah, so some of this project will correct some of the, there are some galvanized lines there. So if you wanted to motion it, you would motion the awarding the Curry Road Water Main Project to Payne and Dolan for the main project base bid of the $491,141.
Because if we, because I don't wanna obviously vote no on it, but I'm not going for.
Yeah, no, you guys can motion it for the entire project. Payne and Dolan, in both cases, is the low bid.
I like getting it all.
One question I have is who's gonna do the
Is it needed is the question.
From
Done it for
city
100
staff
years.
or from,
There's no problems.
well, Coleman, as our engineers, would be on site occasionally to verify certain things.
So, I know that we're gonna,
It's not expected in
Guys,
the budget.
guys,
I know we're gonna come into question somewhere with, we're gonna have something in the way, we need a project manager. Other than just our staff.
Well, I'll say, yeah, from an engineering, Coleman would be there, and then from our staff, it would be Public Works and myself. We haven't really considered an outside project
It
manager.
might be worth considering on a project, especially if we go large scale.
Oh, and another aspect to this too is we are finalizing a new easement for this. So we didn't have an easement for where the water main currently ran through the private property, and we were unable to stay in our utility right away and our easement off of Curry because of other utilities that are there. So we have to shift off a little bit of Curry, which will still put us in private property, but not through the wetland. And we do have a new easement written up. Attorneys reviewed it. It is now going back. Will be going back to the property owner. So that will have to get done
Before we can do anything.
3 weeks.
Sorry, Brett, that I was carrying on over here.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
bad.
no, I just,
Yeah, no,
been
I-
part of plenty of city projects where stuff gets lost, it gets shuffled without a project manager. We need somebody just, their name, city employee's fine, you know what I mean, but if we go to a bigger project, I don't know if it's too much for that one individual or not. But there's stuff that gets lost because it'll come up in the spring. My lawn is not repaired, this isn't done, that isn't done.
Every time.
To have a project manager on this, have a detailed log of what's going on, what's done, what needs to be done is very important.
and be responsible, the go-to guy.
And retainage.
Yeah.
And retainage, if they can't fix it in this, because of the weather conditions, they have to come back in the spring and fix it.
So I think, if we want to delegate that one city employee, that's fine, but, I think we need some kind of management on this project.
Yep, needs to be tracked.
You're into a fairly large dollar amount, and we know we're gonna tear up yards, and roads are gonna get closed, and people are gonna be pissed off about something. So, to have a project manager involved is, to me, important.
Yeah, that would typically fall on, our DPW person in charge and myself, and then in partnership with the engineers at Coleman. That's how we would approach this type of project.
But who's gonna sign off on everything? We wanna go, and I agree with you, we wanna go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Well, if you're looking for like specific, like engineering things that are, like, that's gonna be probably Coleman, because we don't necessarily have the background to sign off on anything that's technical.
Yeah,
Like
and
that.
I mean,
He's talking about work orders and.
well, it's all
Well-
part of it. I mean, we need.
To Brett's point, we've got issues from last year's paving project yet that we're dealing with, that Coleman's supposed to take care of, and nothing is getting done.
Yeah.
So that's the problem with, this is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
This way we have documentation, we have somebody that's familiar with it, we can go to that person and say, hey, what's going on when the complaints start coming in? Where were you when this was going down, right? What's the solution? Because we're trying now to get things fixed after the contractors are long gone.
And, you know, it might have been pulled over here for some reason, and it's valid, and it's just, why is that hole still there a year later?
Correct.
Just that kind of stuff. And I don't need a name right now, but I think that we definitely need a project manager for this project.
And it's, I mean, I have no problem with your supervisor doing it,
Yeah.
but he's gotta have to be he's gonna have the guy holding the bag at the end of the deal,
Yeah.
you know?
And if you wanna talk that out and let us
Right.
know, maybe we should just go forward
Yeah.
with the first part of the project.
Yeah. And I'm completely okay with it, I just wanted to make that statement and question. I don't know.
Yeah, and now you got me thinking about, you know, one of the things that we've commonly talked about is delegating that authority and giving employees opportunity, you know, training wheels, if you will. I know $400,000 project isn't something I would call training wheels, but it gives people that opportunity to, our leaders to delegate, and those people on that next level to gain some experience of, well, hey, I can do this to take this off Dan's plate, Brock's plate, blah, 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 blah.
And even for a contact for Scott. No.
Yeah, it's
You know what I mean?
perfect. Yeah,
Like, Scott can be in contact with that guy
Yeah.
every morning or whatever it may be,
yeah,
and starting a punch list of things to get done.
yeah. I see the value in that too.
And we kinda did that when we did, I mean, the, project down at the wastewater. I know that was a way bigger project, but we even met weekly.
I'm 100% agreement with you on this project. He needs to be there daily, you know, checking on, not just letting the crews run it autonomous, paying those crews run autonomously, you know,
And it's whoever.
right? He or she, whatever it is,
Whatever
right?
it may be.
But I would think the supervisor needs to be involved at least on a weekly basis, if not daily,
Right.
Oh, they
on a
are.
project that size.
Certainly.
Right.
And most all of that staff would be involved daily. Yeah.
So what do you guys just
Want
want?
to make a motion for that base bid?
Wait, anybody can make a motion on either one if they'd like, it's just that there might be some no votes if, I don't wanna, you know, vote the whole project down, you know what I mean? If we go with the extended, if somebody motions the extended bid.
Yeah,
So
so if
two
the
motions.
extended
First
bid
base bid.
fails, then someone can motion for a base bid.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So yeah, whatever the council's prerogative, how far they want to go.
Okay.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that the Currywood Water Main Project be awarded to Panton and Dolan the base bid of $494,141, not to exceed.
Support.
Mr. Mararo?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes,
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
move on to item number 5. So will you get us,
I'm not against the other project, I just want to make sure we need it and we got time to play with, I think.
oh yeah, I'm sorry, is there a motion on the second part of the bid right now?
You guys made a motion for the base bid. If that passed,
Correct.
then
There is no other motion.
yeah, that's the way I understood it. There wouldn't.
I mean, you could, if we wanted to, we can motion and pass the extended project, but I don't think anybody wants to
I
do
would
it.
like to revisit it once.
Correct.
We get into it.
Yes, that's all I'm
what I
asking.
think, too.
It's not a
Yeah.
necessity.
Correct.
It is not.
This-
And it's big dollars, so let's just look at it a little bit deeper, we got time.
And revisit it.
Yeah.
Because maybe there's something else going on there with water mains.
Yeah.
that
Right.
We look into for a bigger
And
project.
it makes sense to do. Perfect.
I like that concept of this is the way it should be. at what cost, I understand it, but definitely revisiting it. We gotta fix the immediate issue.
Item number 5, 2025 local paving bid award. Dan?
So this actually came in where we expected, and we expected it to come in significantly higher, and it actually came in right around where we had budgeted for. So again, like the last item, I got Coleman's engineering's information yesterday about it shows the bid tabulation for the two companies. We had Payne and Dolan and Baco. Baco was the low bid for this project of $357,561.20, which again is right in the ballpark of where we had estimated this project. Of course, it's late in the year, the entire project will not get done now. It'll have to pick up again in the spring. In your packet, you'll see the roads, just as a reminder of what we had in this packet. A lot of it is kind of finishing up areas that were last year, and then a section of Kearney and a section of Curry. There's a Roshan Lane up there. So, again, Baco was a little bit on this. If council wants to move forward with paving this year into next year, like I said, they'll start this year, but likely will finish next year. And it's still in the same fiscal year.
Do I have any questions on that?
What's the deadline of too late in the year for them to start? I mean, we don't want to be a close-up project November 5th and have them paving when it's freezing.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it's going to be weather dependent, but I wouldn't expect it to go anywhere past October. I think we did Main Street here was mid-October. That's probably pushing it.
Yeah.
So Todd would probably talk to Coleman. We put a deadline either on date or just based on condition.
Okay. Just so, we're not.
Yeah, we know we don't want to be paid, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve awarding the 2025 local paving bid to Baco Construction Company in the amount not to exceed $357,561.20.
Support.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes?
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Marrar?
Yes.
Item number 6, Stevens Real Estate Broker Agreement, Springview subdivision lots.
So I was contacted by Ryan Gordon of Stevenson's Real Estate. He was the city's realtor for these lots previously, and we haven't had a realtor representing us since about a year and a half ago. But he reached out to me that a Moyle Construction out of Houghton, in partnership with Edwin Homes out of Grand Rapids, was interested in the remaining Springview lots in the Springview subdivision. After kind of discussing with Ryan and looking at these two builders, Ryan negotiated a $15,000 per lot price for this, which is better than where we had them for sale previously. With his $2,500 per lot commission, which was what it was when he had the listings prior, but it was also a percent, and I think it was whoever was less. He didn't include a percent, it was just a flat fee of $2,500. It still nets us $100,000 in sales and 8 new homes. This is, at this time, this is more just approving him as the listing agent for those specific lots, but in his agreements, he does have that selling price and his $2,500 and to Moyle. So it's very specific to this project.
I can see that, boy, 17.5%. That's a pretty nice commission.
And we,
8 new homes in
nobody
Norway.
else had this underneath them, right? We always had them with the last times we had 'em.
Yeah, we had them with Ryan and Stevens, and then we put out an RFP for a listing agent for all of our properties and didn't get any inquiries at that time. So
That's
we've
what I
been
thought.
agentless for a while. Again, these 15 each is more than we had them for previously. So I still think it's a good deal for the city. And this doesn't guarantee this project at this point, but the contractors did visit the sites and are still interested that they're all buildable. I took a look at Edwin Allen.
That's what I was just gonna ask.
Alan
you.
Edwin Holmes.
So they're apparently the biggest construction bill of homes in the state of Michigan. With, I forgot, the $300 and some million revenues a year. They sent three model homes of what they're looking to build, and they are, the next step of this would be, they still have to fall into line with our requirements of 1 year to commence and 2 years to complete. And it sounds like they are going to be, their idea here is to build 8 spec homes.
As quickly as possible.
Yeah. They sent 3 renderings of their models, which I also found on their website. Just looking at their starting, they're all, one's a bi-level, they're all 3-bed, 2-bath or so with additions of finished basements, but they all start really like around 300 to 400,000.
Is that the same ones that they just presented to Marquette?
It could be. They're looking to, apparently, Edwin Allen has a target number of homes, and I think they are looking for vacant properties all over.
What about Moyle Construction? Is that local or no?
They're out of Houghton.
They're out of Holton.
So I'm assuming that, Moyle is their contractor.
Building an UP probably, yeah.
Have they worked, with any of the other towns around us?
Moyle or Edwin? Moyle out of Houghton, they've done a lot of the commercial properties in Iron Mountain. I think they did the Jimmy John's and some other things out there. So it's a pretty reputable company. Because part of our new process here is to make sure that when we do these developments that we are looking at companies that have the history and the ability to do these. And I would say this partnership between the two do. And these lots have already been listed for sale. So that process is done. The selling price is above listed, and they're building precisely which is what allowable.
What are we talking about here?
Um,
Am I missing something?
Did you talk to, Iron Mountain? About their dealings with it, Moyle or anybody else?
No,
I don't think,
I think Moyle was at the county fair that I attended this past month, the commission meeting. I think they're going to be working on the old furniture mart, renovating that.
And with, the size of the Edwin Allen, they're going to do their homework. So if we approve, Ryan is our listing agent, he'll facilitate a lot of that. We still have our standard, attorney need to finalize any.
So all we're doing is accepting Ryan as our selling agent.
Right,
for these properties.
these, council's involvement after this is, again, these properties are listed for sale. They're doing residential homes. The rest of this would really just be administrative zoning requirements. Once we get their signed agreements of commencement and completion, if they're asking to work outside of that, then that's a different story.
Right.
Yeah, there's no funky zoning rules up there. Everything's got to be single family dwelling.
There's covenants, which they have. Ryan provided the covenants for that subdivision to them, and the rest of it really is just zoning. And it's R2, it's single family sites. So if there's anything outside of that, again, it'd be a different story, but.
Gotcha.
So we're looking tonight just to,
I would, give our attorney's opinion to make sure he's in agreement with, this process of listing agent. But I personally think it's still a good deal for the city.
But right now, we're just authorizing Ryan Gordon to be our representative on them lots.
Yep, to continue, so he'll facilitate the sale with the developers.
Is there any other questions?
Grant, any issues?
At this point, it's just a listing agreement,
Yeah.
which we've done in the past for these lots, and it's not any different than the past listing agreements.
Yeah,
So
because we're
listing
not really
agreement, it's a
accepting
good price.
what's in
Right,
front of
right.
us.
What are we talking about?
We're letting him just go ahead and be our
Yeah.
representative
Yeah.
for this thing.
You're agreeing, to his, commission on this.
Yep.
And, he's put in a sell price of 15, which I think is acceptable for, and I've discussed with our assessor.
Yeah,
as
okay.
well.
I'll make the motion, if that's what we're looking for, Mayor Brew.
Yep,
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve the agreements with Ryan Gordon of Stevens Real Estate to be the city's agent to sell Springview subdivision lots 34, 33, 32, 30, 29, 28, 26, and 22 to Moyle Construction.
no,
Well, and these agreements do have specifically sale price and to whom the buyer is.
Grant?
I think we should just do the Ryan Gordon.
I mean, I think either way, because Ryan is basically bringing us a proposed deal
Yeah.
that we still
Right.
have to
Yeah.
approve.
Right.
So if it falls through with them, our listing agreement with Mr. Gordon stops. And,
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
still a 12-month period that he would be listing it, but it specifically adds to this group under this, I guess, thought process of building homes and putting something together. If it falls through, the way it reads is that we could reopen it up for listing again with another realtor or a different.
I mean, if Grant came to my office tomorrow to buy one of those lots for 15,000 to put up a home, council would never even see that, because it meets all the criteria administratively. This is just a larger,
More or less, yeah.
I'm
but you
2/3
were-
of the way through my motion. Can I continue?
Yeah, just to hire them though,
Yeah.
for them lots.
With
it's
Ryan
it's
Gordon.
just to sell, those Springview
Yep.
lots.
To Moyle Construction for $15,000 per lot with a $2,500 closing fee per lot to Stevens Real Estate.
Support.
Do you like that motion?
Mrs. Brew,
Yes?
Mr. Kramer,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini,
Yes.
Mr. Mararo,
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald.
I know, I just don't like that they added the person and everything.
Hopefully lots more stuff. It's the big one.
Who made that motion?
I did.
I supported it.
All right, item number 7, resolution 2025-18, IBEW supervisors collective bargaining agreement with the city of Norway. If I have no questions on that, I have a motion.
I motion that resolution 2025-18 IBEW Supervisors Collective Bargaining Agreement, with the city of Norway be approved.
Does this have to be read?
Mr. Kramer,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini,
Yes.
Mr. Mararo.
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald,
Yes.
Mrs. Brew.
Yes. Move on to mayor council comments. Ricky, did you have any? Brett?
Thank you.
You want to comment on this stuff down at the end of the block, huh?
Yeah, I've talked to them. Yes.
Want to get me an update? Yeah, Ken, thanks. I'm good, Ken.
School back in session. Great to see the improvements and everything that was done. Thanks once again to the supporters of the Norway Vulcan Area School Districts for passing the bond, and you're really starting to see the kids and teachers and staff and community with a quality facility to go along with the quality education that's been occurring in that building for quite a long time. So thanks everyone out there that supported.
I have nothing tonight.
I don't have
Do you have anything, Matt?
No.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion, we adjourn.
Support.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Mararo?
Yes.
Mrs. Steigerwald?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes?
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.